I'm pretty excited. What a head-to-head this is going to be. The TSR3, without doubt, one of the best drivers currently out on the market, going up against the brand new Stealth 2, which so far in initial testing has been very, very impressive. I honestly don't know which way this is going to go, but I can't wait to see these numbers. So come on then, before we jump into it, comment below who is going to come out on top, TSR3 or Stealth 2 Plus. As always, please make sure to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos, and there's going to be a lot. So obviously, as always, these two drivers are going to be set up exactly the same shaft going in from one head straight into the other, same loft, same weight setup, same time, on quad. Oh, let's just dive straight into it. I'm excited. Okay, so first up, we're going to get it out of the way. The bit that everyone really cares about is the performance of these drivers. So we're going to talk looks, we're going to talk sound, we're going to talk feel, we're going to talk value, we're going to sum it all up at the end. As I said, for the winner, but first up is performance. So I'm going to show you a few shots with each, and then we're going to dive into the numbers. We're going to talk about kind of what I feel is the forgiveness, kind of the ball speed retention, the spin retention, like, and which performs better. So let's do it. First up, it is the Stealth 2. This is going to be very, very interesting. Felt pretty solid that. Felt very solid. Yeah, very nice. Be a one and done. Strike good, efficiency 145. So I mean, I'll throw this in there now quickly. When we're talking more ball speed or faster ball speed, like it's not gonna happen out the middle, like ever, unless obviously the rules change, right? Because when you hear me say efficiency 1.45, that is obviously just an equation of the ball speed and the club speed. So for example, swinging at 100 mile an hour, we get 145 mile an hour ball speed, that is 1.45 efficiency. Now you never ever see, generally 1.45 is max. I have seen 1.46, very, very rarely 1.47, but both of those are pretty rare. I mean, so 1.45 is like, so if you get a 1.46, you're gonna get a smidge more out of that, but like for swinging at that 114 club speed, that 165 ball speed out the middle, pretty much maxed. Sure, I'll show you a couple of bad ones with each as well, so really test the entire club. Says he hits another one really good. Really not going to grumble at either of those two. There you go, 145 efficiency. Again, same strike, nice. I'll say a little bit less ball speed on that one just because I swung slow. So the efficiency was identical. I just actually swung a tiny bit slower on that one. And that wasn't me trying to swing slower, by the way. I'm just trying to swing. Just not thinking anything, just swing, hit it well. That was high on the face. Hence why we got a little bit of extra pop on that one. Yeah, high toe, so we see that spin drop down sub 1800, which it did feel high to me, to be fair. Now the impressive thing about that, I would class as a little bit of a mistrike, because the numbers are pretty good out the middle. That dropped substantially, so I know it doesn't look like it was really, really kind of a terrible strike on the, on the graphic, but it didn't feel good. It was definitely high, spin drops, efficiency stays 144. Typically, you'll see efficiency on the low part of every head will be good. The efficiency higher will be bad. So 144 efficiency from what I felt was not that good and a little bit high. That's pretty good. Oh, wow. Oh, that's done well. Get on the line. Oh, that was bad. That was seriously toey. Seriously toey. And I'm going to leave this graphic up there for a minute to actually explain something. So this is actually just the perfect opportunity just to explain a little bit about forgiveness and what people actually believe as forgiveness, right? So a lot of people will just think it's going to help them keep it on the planet, right? A little bit, yes. However, a big caveat in that is it's down to your delivery, realistically. Like if the face is open, it's going right. If the face is closed, it's going left. With any club, does not matter, right? And that's the biggest thing that I kind of see in here that people kind of realize throughout a really good fitting process when we're looking at the data, right? So that one, that felt horrendous. I hit that 16 millimeters in the toe, but the path, the face to path relationship was actually very good. Now that is forgiveness. Very toey. You see it started off to the right, geared back round to the left, which is what we're going to get from a toe strike, even though the delivery was actually slightly out to in with the face slightly open to the path. That is a very slight fade delivery. We got a nice little draw, but felt horrendous. Felt like it did spin. You know, I felt the face kick, and it's ended up 0.1 yards offline at 311 yards, right? Missed strike. Missed strike, good result, because I delivered actually a square face to path. If that face had been open like 2.5 degrees, probably would have ended up over there, right? Not so much the club being not forgiving, it's that that was just a rubbish delivery, right? There's just a fine line in that. So I just wanted to kind of explain that a little bit more. Right, so into the TSR3. Now, you all know my thoughts on this driver, absolutely fantastic. Obviously, we're keeping the heads, they're both 9 degree, set flat at 9 degree. Both of the weights have been set in the toe, so keeping that fair, and obviously it's exactly the same shaft. I've literally just swapped the heads over. So the only difference really is the head weight, which is just the stock standard head weight as they come out of the factory. So the TSR3 is weighing up at 192.5, and then the Stealth Plus at 195.5. So it is 3 grams heavier. So it's certainly noticeable. You know, that 3 grams, that's a swing rate and a half. So when I do pick this up, it does feel a little bit lighter in the head. So it's going to be interesting to see if that has any influence on speed as well. So I've hit 10 so far with the Stealth. I'm going to go and hit 10 now with the TSR3. I'll go back and hit another 10 with the Stealth, then back and hit another 10 with the TSR3. Not going to delete any. We'll look at the highest ball speed of the day, lowest ball speed of the day, average ball speed, standard deviation to really dissect what we think about the performance of these heads. That was low in the head. Go! Yeah. Low in the head, and that's obviously, yep, see 10 mil low. So you can see the efficiency, as I kind of mentioned earlier, efficiency is still at 144, because the bottom of the head is generally a super efficient part of the head in terms of transferring that energy through strike, but what it does do is it ramps up that backspin. So that's where we lose the distance from. So you can see on that one, the backspin went up to 3,000, which is why it only carried 277. I mean, still, I'm going to take that shot every day of the week, just lost a bit of yardage. But that's what happens when we strike it out of the bottom. I will also be keeping an eye on that as well, and I'll tell you how I think these heads perform exactly out the middle. Because I hit a few buttoned with the Stealth 2. I'm sure I'll get a couple buttoned with this. And those are the ones you want to look at. When the delivery is really nice and square face, perfect strike, that's going to be the best representation of how the head performs. You know, when you just hit it button out the middle, and then the rest we want to see how it performs as a whole. Felt better, turned it over a little bit. It's like a high ball flight, doesn't it? Go! Whew. Just. So now that is quite surprising in terms of that spin rate. Because yeah, I did hit that well, and it was quite a strong kind of delivery, slightly out to in and slightly closed to the path. So it's, you know, face being closed to the path, and I was swinging left. So quite a strong delivery, nice strike, out the middle, 144 efficiency. Spin at 25. Stealth 2 is definitely going to be a bit lower spin, I think. That was actually quite similar to that one I hit with the Stealth in terms of that high toe. It's definitely, wow, 2600 spin. That surprises me. That does surprise me. Not quite as toey as the one I hit with the Stealth, to be fair, but still a great result. Again, forgiving, Pretty decent delivery, toe strike, we got away with it, but that spin is high. That felt really good. Yeah, nice, there we go. That was really good. Yep, take that strike all day long. 145 efficiency, 14 launch, 24 backspin. Yes, it's definitely a dispersion pattern difference going on as well. So now I'm going to go back, hit another 10 with the Stealth, hit another 10 with the TSR, and then we're going to look at the numbers and show you my findings. I'm not going to lie, that test surprised me quite a lot. So first of all, we'll touch on the numbers. There's a couple of definite patterns within the dispersion that I saw within these heads. First of all, we look at the ball speed. So you've got the Stealth 2 on the top, TSR3 on the bottom. Identical, like literally couldn't split them, to be honest. Really could not split them. I was actually expecting the Stealth 2 to come out just on top because I felt I was a little more consistent with that, but there you go. Exactly the same. One thing I will say is the Stealth 2 was more consistent on ball speed. Launch, pretty much identical. Standard deviations, pretty much identical. So launch, couldn't really pick them apart. Backspin, that's kind of what I was thinking, to be honest. Like 300 revs, 250, 300 revs, I would say, between these two heads. So at 9 degree, the Stealth 2 Plus is definitely quite a low spin head. I mean, I wouldn't say TSR3 is the lowest spinning head ever, but the Stealth 2 Plus is a good 250 to 300 revs lower spin than the TSR3. And again, standard deviation, tighter on the Stealth 2. Surprisingly good, to be honest, on miss hits. It really was. It felt like more solid than the Titleist on miss hits. It really surprised me. And being brutally honest, if you said to me, which one are you going to take out on the course tomorrow and play? I'll be taking the Stealth 2. I know, I can't believe I'm saying it. I would. I felt like my miss was better. The one thing that kind of got me though was because a lot of you know my miss is left. As you can see by the dispersion circles, it was far easier to turn over the TSR3. So again, you know, maybe the 4 in a different setting, maybe less left bias, but the Stealth 2, a more draw biased. We'll start that again. The Stealth 2, a more fade biased driver for sure than the TSR3. And I just had it in a obviously neutral setup. I did have the weight in the toe. Both of them was weight in the toe. Stealth 2 definitely more fade bias than the TSR3 for sure. So I felt like my miss, if anything, with the Stealth 2 was a bit of a fadey, leaky one, which I don't mind too much because my left can get destructive. So spin, 250, 300 revs lower, we saw with the Stealth Plus, and therefore that equated to about an extra 4 yards of carry on average. So I mean, when you're hitting it 290, the difference between 288 and 292 is pretty irrelevant, really, to be honest, isn't it? But you know, again, we saw the standard deviation within the carry being tighter, or therefore more consistent with the Stealth 2. So across the board, actually, it was more consistent, which, I mean, the whole thing just surprised me, to be honest. Like when I went back to it, straight away it was apparent I couldn't turn it over as easy, which I really like. Felt great, felt solid. The miss hits actually felt slightly more solid. It did just feel solid overall, to be honest. So yeah, performance, I mean, and I'll touch on length now while we're on this page. I mean, a lot of people say, well, it's a longer driver. Well, yes, I suppose if you want to look at it in the fact of if you're going to just buy two 9 degrees, but really if you wanted to match them up, well, you just go and buy a TSR3 8 degree, right? Just to get the launch and spin in the right place, because the ball speed is no different. And that's the main factor when it comes to the potential distance, right? So if you've got the same ball speed, all you need to do is get the launch and spin in the same place and it will go the same distance. So you just need to either turn the TSR3 down or buy that 8 degree head and it would probably be the same, right? So again, that's not really the key here. It's kind of consistency, forgiveness. But yeah, that surprised me. Let's have a quick look at the club data page. I don't even think I really need to jump into that, to be honest, do I? I mean, that is ridiculous. Strike on average was pretty similar. I felt, to be honest, I struck the Stealth a little bit better, in all fairness, but average strike was the same, efficiency the same, club speed the same, dynamic loft the same. Dynamic lie was a little bit flatter on the Stealth 2. which I think I heard Trotty say that actually, that this model might be actually sitting slightly flatter, the plus that is, not the standard, the plus sitting slightly flatter, because again, good players don't really want to see the ball go left. Slightly flatter lie angle is going to help that. So slightly flatter lie angle we saw with the Stealth 2. Face, path, angle of attack, nothing in that delivery. Super, super similar. So, I mean, the results, again, I feel are actually very fair results of how these drivers performed head to head. Only difference being the dynamic lie, which again is good for a player with a left miss. So if you have a left miss, I'd air you towards maybe the Stealth Plus, to be honest. Right miss, I'd air you towards the TSR3. But yeah, that's the performance. Now into the rest of it. Right, so let's touch on the looks of these drivers then. So first of all, down by the ball, I will shot in a aerial view of them both. I mean, definitely a little bit of a different shape. In terms of the finish, I really like the Stealth 2, to be honest. I actually prefer it that way around in terms of the gloss and then more of like a satin front line. I think that looks really, really nice, to be honest. Again, Titleist is always just classic Titleist. If you love the classic look, you'll love the Titleist. Very pear-shaped, gloss black, super nice shape, rounded, exactly what a good player would generally like to see. The Stealth 2 looks, again, a little bit more dragged up to the toe like they normally do, although it is less noticeable in this model, I must say. It does look almost a little bit more rounded, which I do much prefer. And it almost looks a little bit longer front to back than the Titleist. Titleist looks a little bit shorter front to back and almost a bit flatter. The Stealth looks like it's a bit flatter, whereas the Titleist looks a bit like a higher profile, whereas the Stealth 2 looks a bit more squished. So, I mean, from the top, that is a super, super close one for me, to be honest with you. Like, I might just edge it to the Titleist, but I love the look of both of them, to be fair. I mean, looking at them from the top, that's just going to be such a case of personal preference, isn't it? I mean, comment down below what you think. I mean, I actually do think that the Stealth 2 is an improvement over Stealth. Just the cosmetics at the top, like the red ring. Love the fact they got rid of the big chrome bit that was at the back of the Stealth one, the original. Like the weight track looks just more solid. So it looks like it fits in the head better. I like the red and black. I think it looks really, really nice and sleek. A little bit more space agey and kind of stand outy than the more subtle TSR3. But again, that's so close. I really love the look of both. I could game either. I can't really call it on that, to be fair. I can't. And just touching quickly on it down by the ball, like this is a 9-degree head and you can only just see a slither of that red face. So, and with it being a little bit lighter, I don't know, it does look better. I think it's a noticeable look upgrade, I would say, for me, from Stealth to Stealth 2. You can't really notice the red face, to be honest, so it doesn't really come into play, in my opinion. Sound-wise, that's a tight one as well. This is the Stealth 2. And then this is the TSR3. Yeah, I mean, again, honestly, they both sound absolutely fantastic. I'm gonna have to have a little think about that one and when we sum up and give the win to someone. Yeah, I don't even know how to sum that up, to be completely honest with you. Not what I was expecting, to be fair, because the TSR3, in my opinion, is one of the best all-round drivers that is currently on the market. Looks, sound, feel, forgiveness, just performance, just everything is fantastic. Stealth 2 today measured up with it, to be honest, you know. So I will mention that, you know, forgiveness, again, on the whole is a relative term. It's not one-dimensional. What is forgiving for someone else will not be forgiving for another person. What I mean by that is bearing in mind your miss, right? So as I saw in that, I felt my miss is generally left, and today I felt like I was struggling a little bit with the left. So that is one of the reasons why I feel like the Stealth 2 today, maybe I felt had a better miss for me, because it is more fade bias. So on today's test, with the setups that we had, I felt that was a more forgiving setup for me because of my miss. My miss was better with it. On a different day, it might be different in all fairness. But I just felt like the mist was just better. The looks, I mean, it's going to be very subjective. I do actually like the Stealth 2 because it's a bit jazzier, isn't it? You know, if you love the classic look, you was no beating the Titleist whatsoever. Stealth 2, if you like to stand out a little bit more, then yeah, that's obviously going to be the one for you. I can't even call it on that. I'm going to call it a draw because I really, really like them both. Sound, again, I can't call it on that. Like, it's so sound and feel. Like, when you nail them, they both feel unbelievable. Even on miss hits, they both still feel pretty stable and pretty good and sound pretty good. Like, so on that, I can't pick them apart. In forgiveness, like I said, it's going to depend on you, right? But I almost felt today I got away with more with the Stealth 2 than I did the TSR3. It's just blowing my mind I'm even saying this, but I don't know. And even on value, they're going to be the same price, right? Titleist 529, pretty sure Stealth 2 Plus 529 retail. I couldn't even tell you at the minute, but I'm pretty sure it is. But they're going to be so close that that's almost irrelevant. So to sum this up, I mean, look, sound, feel, forgiveness. You saw the performance numbers. It's a pretty stone cold draw, I think. It sucks, but I don't know. And from today's test, like it's a draw. They're both absolutely unbelievable drivers, but they're going to be good for different people, and that's very, very important to bear in mind. Like I mentioned, the miss. If you've got a right miss, don't go Stealth 2 Plus. It's probably not going to help you. If you've got a massive left miss, it's definitely worth testing because it's probably going to help you. If you really struggle with spin, obviously going TSR3 Plus is going to be a better head because it's lower spin, going to keep that ball flight down, optimize distance, all those kind of things. So it's bearing in mind these little things, right? One driver will be better for someone else and worse for someone else, right? So basically, as always, get fitted. But wow, what a test, what a review, and those drivers are just absolutely phenomenal, to be honest. So yeah, there might be a bit of a gamer video coming after. Obviously got to test the Aerojet and the Paradigm as well, and then there might be a final fit video for me and really see what would be the best driver for me moving forward this year. But yeah, comment below, what did you think about that? I mean, pretty nuts, right? But yeah, please subscribe, stay tuned, loads more to come. Thank you for watching, and as always, hopefully I'll see you in the next one.